What's up everybody, Felix here, I hope you're doing good. This week I'm coming at you 100% internationalized, which I'm pretty sure is a word. As we're moving forward with the Earth 2 saga, I'm gonna go real big this week and put on an American accent because I know that there are many of you out there still present on Earth 1 wanting to know how to make those dollars come in from this new platform. And as a man of the people, I'm here to help you out. Now I promise we will get back to the stock market, but at this point I'm so far down the rabbit hole with this game that it would be a shame for me not to share with you guys what I've learned during these past 2 weeks. Today we're going to talk about short-term and long-term investment strategies for the game, if you will. We're going to talk about income tax, we're going to talk about resources, what we can expect from phase 2, and of course take a look at my portfolio and my massive growth. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for all the comments on my previous video. I love hearing your thoughts on what you think we can expect moving forward. And of course, thank you so much for using my discount code in the game. I will keep using your codes as well, so don't be afraid to drop a comment down below with your code and your thoughts on this game. In fact, I did use your codes for a few purchases last week. You, Yuka and Danny, you were the chosen ones from the previous week, so from the bottom of my heart, congratulations and you're welcome. If you haven't seen my previous video, Earth 2 is basically Google Earth divided into 10 by 10 meter segments, aka tiles, that are all for sale. The price of a tile varies with regards to the demand in a specific country, and as soon as you buy a new tile from Earth 2, the price of the next tile will be a little bit more expensive in that country. After about 2 weeks on Earth 2, I'm more convinced than before that this platform will continue to grow. I definitely believe that the mix between gaming and investing will continue to attract a broad spectrum of people, and if the unofficial statement that Earth 2 is growing with more than 15,000 people per day is true, then there really are no signs of this slowing down anytime soon. All positive things to come in this video aside, I'd still like to make the same exact disclaimer as I did in the previous video, and that is to not insert any money into this platform that you're not prepared to lose completely. Did I get that right? Oh, let's hope so. I'm well aware that all of this might go to shit and that all of the tiles that I have bought might at some point be worth zero. So just remember that when you're watching this video. Let's start by looking at a short-term strategy on how you potentially can make money from buying and selling tiles without being particularly involved in the game and explore future phases, because as you might already know, Earth 2 will continue to expand over the upcoming years. That by adding income taxes, resources, AR, VR for example, but we'll get to that later on in the video. If you look at what areas have become the most popular to buy tiles in, it's often city centers in various major cities. Manhattan, Vegas, different capitals around the world, and like historical monuments were very quick to go. And if you want to step foot in this game in the short term, you probably have to buy in areas where other people are keen on buying in. Another theory is that if you want those fast increases, you have to localize where land is cheapest right now, and then simply hold on to your tiles until more people have bought into that specific country, and then simply hope that someone will buy your tiles in the marketplace for a discount. So one theory says buy in already popular places and hope that the prices will go up even further. And then the other theory says buy in cheaper places, maybe wait a little bit longer and hope that the demand will grow as much as it did in the already popular places. So maybe a combination of both will be good. Another speculation is that a lot of the people entering the platform now will remain invested until phase 2, when this becomes more like an actual game, and then make an effort to try and cash out in popular areas. And speaking about phase 2, it's supposed to be released during the first half of 2021, but it's still a little bit unclear. Even though some people might try and cash out and leave the platform once this becomes more like an actual game, I also think that the next phase and the phases after that too are going to be appealing to a completely different type of audience, more interested in the creation phase of Earth 2. However, adding to the short-term strategy, once phase 1, which is the current phase, is working properly, you should be receiving income tax on your tiles. Class 1, which is the first 100,000 tiles bought in a specific country, will receive the most income tax, followed by class 2, class 3, and class 4 tiles. So my best guess is that class 1 tiles that are generating the most income tax will be easier to sell in the short run. Maybe even in the long run too. And then there are resources. Wolfgang, one of the developers, dropped a hint when people asked what type of resources are going to be in the game. He said to think like the game Settlers. So if you just Google this real quick, brick, resources in settlers, sheep, wheat, wood, brick, and ore. So if this is it, well then there you go. But how one could actually benefit from these resources and how one can profit from them is still unknown, and I guess that will all unwrap in phase 2. If you're going into this game in the long run and not just to buy and sell tiles, then there are a few strategies to apply. With that said, I can guarantee you that there will be many moments like, oh my god, why didn't I buy the Great Barrier Reef, or why didn't I buy more forests? But this is what I got for you thus far. If you look at the leaderboard of those players with the most tiles in the game, and also look around on other YouTube channels, many people seem to believe in buying in Asia right now, and I think that's simply because the game hasn't gotten any traction there yet. After all, Earth 2 launched like 2 months ago. Players are speculating that this is where you will see the largest price development in the long run, and not just for phase 2. It also seems like those who intend to be in the game for the long run not only buys inner city tiles, but also tiles in forest areas, mines, oceans. In other words, they diversify, and I think that's a word you might have heard before. It is also said that all the buildings in Earth 2 will be leveled with the ground, and that you, in future phases, as an Earth 2 inhabitant, will be able to rebuild the world. And as long as you have the resources to do so, there aren't really any limitations yet as to what you can do. But keep in mind how the resources concept is going to be laid out and how many tiles you'll need to build certain things. No clue, my friend. If you buy tiles in popular areas and make sure that they're class 1 or class 2 or maybe even class 3, since you still are supposed to get an income tax on class 3 tiles, you will most likely be able to sell these at a higher price in the long run as well. But if you already bought all the forest here in Sweden, for example, who knows, it might be worth just as much as an inner city tile depending on the purpose that that individual has playing the game. However, keep in mind that if you bought multiple tiles at the same time, you probably won't be able to pick out 2 or 3 tiles from your 750 tile purchase and sell them separately. So it might be smarter to buy in segments, so it's simply easier to sell in the future. But if you know more than I do on this, don't be afraid to use the comment section below in your preferred language. But make it a nice comment, because you don't know who might be your neighbor in this new world. Alright, let's just take a quick look at my portfolio. Here we have the insane growth. Hopefully it continues to grow even further. I don't know why I'm saying grow like this, but that's okay. If we keep scrolling down here, you'll see that I bought tiles in various countries and in different locations, because I'm really curious as to what this game will develop into. So I made sure to buy tiles in areas that I think will be easy to sell in the short term, and by short term I mean like, I don't know, a year. And then others that hopefully contains more resources so that I can actually play this game once it launches. The long-term vision of this game is crazy. In the same interview that I talked about previously in this video with Wolfgang, he also mentioned the game GTA as an example and said that if Rockstar, the developer of GTA, wanted to do the next generation of GTA within Earth 2, there shouldn't really be anything stopping them. And just think about all the insane ways that you can advertise on this platform once, or if this really gets traction worldwide. Or what do you think? Will Facebook or Elon Musk come in and buy the whole platform and steer it in a completely different direction? I don't know, and I guess time will tell. Before we ballar ur för mycket, I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope I see you in the next video. Until then, have a good one. Ciao!